Colleagues, we start the working day at Ukraine Crisis Media Center, and the topic of the first press briefing: attempts of recruitment, solitary cell, and threats, challenges for Kremlin prisoner Valentyn Vygivskyi, Petro and Galyna Vygivskyi, Tytykalo, and also Illya Novikov and Tomak, coordinator of the Let My People Go. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Thank you for coming. Today, our press conference is dedicated to the case that is not well known, but we believe that we should pay more attention to the case of Valentyn Vygivskyi. We should support him. Today is his birthday. He is 33 years old, and we want to draw attention to his case. One of the reasons why this case is less known is that the materials of the case these materials are classified because those accusations and convictions are connected with espionage, the category of cases that in Russia is considered as classified. Valentyn Vygivskyi, he is Kievan, a resident of Kiev, but his arrest in Russia was connected with Crimea. He was detained and arrested in September 2014. Then he was brought to Lefurtovo, and he was in the former SBU facilities in Simferopol. He was interrogated there. They beated him there, and these beatings continued in Lefurtovo. For a long time, he was held in Lefurtovo. This is FSB facility, and he was convicted in a year in 2015 to 11 years in high security prison, and he was brought to Kirovsk Oblast, and now he served his sentence there. And we call on our countrymen and also to all people of the world. You can write to him, you can send letters, you can greet him with his birthday. And I remind that to write the letters in Russian. In Russia, espionage cases are trendy, and this trend started after military aggression against Ukraine. There is a number of espionage cases. Yuri Solushенko case, Yuri Solushenko was brought to Ukraine already, but there are many other cases, among them Valentyn Vygivskyi case. And then I would like to give the floor to his parents and to Illya Novikov. We do not have access to the materials of the case. There are clear violations in this case, really serious. This is illegal bringing of the person from the territory of Crimea, and this is qualified as military war crime, and we hope that Russia will be held accountable for this crime. Also, these are tortures, psychological pressure that he sustains. They tried to recruit him, and also they didn't allow a consul to see him. And there was a visit recently, and previously they didn't let the official representatives of Ukrainian power to visit him. After press conference, we will hold event near Ukrainian House, and we ask to join this action. And I would like to thank all the volunteers of Euromaidan SOS who helped to organize this event. I give the floor to Petro Vygivskyi, father of Valentyn Vygivskyi. Good afternoon, everyone. For us, this day is the day of birthday of our son, and he celebrates this day without us. And last year also he was in the detention facility that day, and I would like to read a paragraph from his letter, how he celebrated his birthday there a year ago in this facility. This is the so the birthday. I'm 32. I want to go home. You can't even imagine. My inmate also presented me with a small present. I hope that you bought Kievan cake, and I hope that you left a piece of cake for me, and you imagined that I am near you. So I believe that he didn't understand how we mark his birthday. Many people gathered. These are relatives, friends. We didn't have such events before. So the matter is, and Maria told you about it, it's difficult. It's difficult to say something. At the moment, he is in Kirovska Oblast in the high security prison. He is held alone in the cell, and we do not have any contacts. There was only one letter with a return address. We can write letters. We started to write letters when we knew about the place where he is held, and Artur Abashev said that these letters, he cannot get these letters, and we cannot get the letters from him also. So he was consul, and some lawyers visited him, and consulate is the only structure that works in this direction constantly. They were in Lefortovo, and there was a meeting also with consul in the high security detention facility. He says that his state of health is normal. There are some problems, stomatological problems, and with his problems with his sight, because there is light in the room at night. It's not enough to read. That's why the situation is like this. Also, he is lacking vitamins and sun. About the case, Illya Novikov maybe will tell us, and our son says that for a simple person, he just cannot understand what is going on. And there was a phrase in his letter concerning his case. If someone tells about it, it would seem weird. But I am an enemy of Russia now, as any Ukrainians nowadays. So this is things coincided, and in one of his letters he wrote, I just was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So the conditions, he agreed with the accusations, and Russian lawyers said, and one of the lawyers said that if he rejects accusations, there won't be any contacts with him. So he forced him to agree with accusations, and he was able to phone home after this. And there was such a phrase in the letter. FSB, they are like criminals with state mandate. They believe that we are enemies. And in these circumstances, he agreed, he admitted the accusations. I'm sure that I will be home soon, and I am not a traitor. It's better to die. They forced him to cooperate. I don't know in what way. They wanted that he worked for Russia, but he refused. So he served 11-year sentence, and as I know, no one from those Ukrainians who are in Russia, I never heard that someone agreed to cooperate with Russia. So the picture is like this. As to the attitude, this is the opinion of my son, how they feel about it, the situation in the country. They cultivate a hatred toward America and Ukraine, and this is done. And they do not say that you say the truth, and they do not want to hear it. You feel as being an idiot in such a situation. So the picture is like this. That is what I wanted to say. Galyna.
I would like to thank everyone who came to support us, and at my son's birthday are here in this audience in our family. The first who went to visit the son, it was me. When I saw him for the first time, I saw half of a person. So he lost much of his weight, and for half an hour he could not say a word because he suffocated with tears. He didn't see his relatives for 7 months, and then he looked at me and he told me that twice I said goodbye to my life because of mock executions, and then there was a dialogue, and he told that he was humiliated and tortured, and he told you, "No, mother, I will not keep silence. All my knowledge and all my persuasions, I told them all the truth, and I will not keep silence. You, mother, know me. Yes, I thought they would kill me. It looked like that those days when twice they shot into him near the grave. It was a mock execution. They used Kalashnikov gun, and from the very first day he was writing to us. He wrote to us that he misses us very much and his little son, and he appreciated so much how much his family means for him, and he wrote to us that you can support each other. You are so happy to be together, and I'm here alone in a hostile environment, and I've experienced real difference when I saw him for the second time on January 25th, 2016. We visited him together with his wife. I saw a calm and person who already was accused, who was ready to his destiny. What helped him? They were our letters in which we wrote and gave him support. We wrote him that Ukraine put efforts and his family puts efforts into setting him free, setting him at liberty. He many times wrote to us that he was not guilty. We cried very much, and we raised funds to send him parcels to visit him. The meetings are allowed twice a month, but we need lots of funds for that. Our family supported him anyway. He was allowed to make one phone call. He talked to the father, and I was very glad because he could hear the voice. And I would like to read you a passage from the letter so that you can understand what a person he is, and you will understand then everything, because I can't express by my words. Here you will feel his soul, his pain. He expressed it in his letters, his grief and distress. I'm sitting in this cell. Sometimes it seems to me that I will go insane. My moral condition is not good. I am waiting for your letters. Any information from home, from family is very valuable for me. For spiritual condition, my spiritual condition, you are not to be afraid any longer. Not everyone would be capable to sustain, but I did, and now I train my physical body in sports in order to be a winner in any life situation. They are just quotations. As the saying goes, the one who was captain is not afraid of death. I'm quoting his phrases. I have certain problems with health. My eyesight decreased because of bad lighting conditions, distress. Yes, the eyesight is a real problem now, and after sleeping on such a bed, the body I feel aches and pains all over the body, and I have already forgotten what does it mean to sleep as a human being. Many quotations are here, how he rose in spirit, how he struggled. Our life is a process of working on our spirit. We can't remain at the same level without development. People, human beings, either move forward or degrade. There is no third option. You can't conserve yourself at the one and the same level. As concerns my spiritual condition today, I feel difficulties because of not have seen you for a long time, but Consul come to see me sometime. Maybe it should be like that in my life. Sometimes I feel depression. It is very seldom, but it is normal for a person to be in such situation. And now we have Illya Novikov by Skype connection. We would ask him about the developments in the case. Do you hear us? Good afternoon. We have a question. At what stage the case is now? The appeal has been dismissed, whether cassation appeal was filed, and how can we achieve setting Valentyn free? Could it be political agreements, or will you file some appeal? Unfortunately, I should confess we don't have good chances to achieve legal setting his free by means of law. So there is no hope to win in the European Court of Human Rights because he admitted him guilty. As concerns the Russian court instances, the appeal was in the Supreme Court, and the tone of the Supreme Court told me that the appeal will be dismissed. It would be dismissed. There are political prerequisites for bringing this case to the top level, but now we do not have reasonable chances to win, but we should remind Ukrainian politicians that this is one another person for whom Ukrainian politicians should struggle to set him at liberty. This could only be political agreements and nothing else. Is Valentyn in the list? Yes, he is on the list. Those lists are in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine website. When I started that case, I hoped that maybe he was the spy for Ukraine, because as you know, secret services, security services, they do not forget, they do not lose their agents, but he was not a spy. So in the confidential part of the case, Vygivskyi was accused that he was spying for himself, that he didn't have contacts with foreign intelligence, but he hoped to provide such information in future to some security service of some foreign country. First, can we expect that any materials of the case will start to be not confidential in future? As concerned the first, I don't think it is required. They are secret. The information concerns military aircraft. He was provided information and from commercial espionage, which is punishable with 2 years of prison. His accusations were changed for military espionage. And I am now not allowed to tell you the details because I was forced to sign the statement of non-disclosure of this information. In the high security prison where he is held, I suppose next week I will see him. The consul from Moscow consulate, Gennady Moskalenko, last week visited him. According to independent information about the pretrial detention center, 3 weeks ago, we have this information about this condition of health of Vitaly Vygivskyi.
Good afternoon, I'm Roman Tytykalo, I'm a lawyer. And we studied together at school. And he is characterized as a person who is honest, open, and clever. And after these accusations, I understand, and from the legal side and from human side, that he didn't commit any crime. I suspect that they wanted to recruit him or something, so they detained him for other reasons. And it happened because he is he has high moral and principles, and he refused to cooperate, and it resulted in these accusations. And so the practice of these classified cases is usually used starting from Soviet times. KGB used these methods. If case is classified, then the court hearings are also closed. Public is not allowed to be present during court hearings, and there's no public attention to it because they believe that the aim why this case is classified, it is done to prevent people from knowing about the case, about the accusations. Legal system of Russia, as Mr. Novikov said, won't allow to bring a non-guilty verdict, and maybe he can be exchanged according to the current rules of exchange. And after the decision of the High Court of Russia, maybe this case can be appealed in the European Court of Human Rights. And maybe in such a case, the situation will be resolved. And Ukrainian power should remember about these people who were taken hostage by Russia. Savchenko is not the only one. There are many patriots who are behind bars now, and we should put a lot of effort. The top officials should pay a lot of attention to this case in order that Valentyn is freed. So do you have some questions to the speakers? Please introduce yourself first. Mikhail Stitelь, Radio Liberty. I have a question to you. Did you sign the note for on confidentiality? No. I didn't go to Russia. I believe that this is dangerous. And to protect him in Russia, Ukrainian lawyers should get a right to be a lawyer in Russia, and also to get access to state secrets of Russia. That is absolutely impossible. Do you have information why he was in Crimea 2 years ago? And secondly, do I understand correctly that he was from Kiev, not from Crimea? Yes, he was living in Kiev. He spent here all his youth, and according to FSB information, that he went there to Crimea for 1 day. He had a ticket and return ticket. He wanted to communicate with someone there, and parents do not know with whom. And the information that was in the media, disseminated by Russian media, that they carried out special operation and they detained him there. So they allured him in the territory of Crimea and then detained him. So other hostages also provided detailed information about tortures they sustained. Did he provide this information maybe with the help of Mr. Novikov? And Mr. Novikov got involved when there was the Court of Appeal hearings. So previously there was other lawyer. That's why he didn't provide this information. But what happened to him? He provided this information in letters. We describe information about Yatsenko and Afanasyev, and in one letter he wrote that the same happened to him. So also he whispered something in the framework of the visit when the relatives visited him. Anna Spivak, Evening News. So, and did Valentyn carry out some civil activities? Was he an activist? Why there was an operation to allure him to Crimea? He was in Maidan, of course. Why they paid attention to him, I don't know. He had a hobby, aviation. He communicated with many people, and the majority of aviations, they are communicating through social media. And also many of them were from Russia. Maybe they spoke the same language, and maybe he communicated with people who were under supervision, and maybe that's why they found him. And another version of these events is that maybe he was arrested in Crimea. You know, they saw that he has interest in aviation and visits the sites, and it's easy to verify what person likes. And according to the article on espionage in Russia, any foreigner can be considered as a spy if a person watched information online about planes that are falling, or some other information, classified or not classified, that is present in the media. So this person can be considered as a spy already. So we will end press conference. And now there will be an action at the entrance of Ukrainian House. Thank you very much.